Alright guys, morning check after adding all the hens. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'll be 100% honest with you guys, I did end up having to replace this hen here. The hen that was in here originally was new to my loft. She was only here for about a week, so she wasn't you know, ready to mate up. She was still kind of new, but clearly you can see the hen that I added took to no problem. So that was successful there. The hen that we were second guessing on this side, she also took to this cockbird. When I came in here, they were both in the nest, both together. So 1 pair out of 16. And honestly, it probably would have been 100% had I added a hen that I currently had, not something new. But the reason for the video is to show you guys how I feed my birds for the next couple days. And the way I do that is I always have the trough pretty much full, water ready, and every 15 minutes or so, I'll let out a pair of birds. It might sound tedious, it might sound, you know, like a lot of work, and it sort of is. I kind of dedicate my weekend to mating up the birds, because what I want to do is I want the hens to learn where the cocks want them to be. If I open them all up, it's chaos, and then I have to look at my notes and chase birds and add them in the right boxes. This way I'll let that pair out for, you know, 15 minutes, let's say, let them eat and drink. When I come back in, usually they're right back in the box. You know, the cock's up there calling, she learns that that's her corner, so she's usually right back in the box within the next 15 minutes or so. Then I'll let out another pair. Now I'll do this for the first day. Tomorrow, when I get home from work, I will let out a row of birds. So I'll let out, let's say, the top row tomorrow for 15 minutes or so, then box them back up, and then maybe the second row the next day, or the second row, or maybe I'll do the third row. So it all depends on, you know, how I feel that day, but I kind of change it up. So maybe Tuesday I'll let out a top to bottom row. You know what I mean? So I'm always kind of changing it up. I don't like to let them out all out at the same time. And then of course you have to remember day 4 and 5 are the most important days. That's when the eggs become fertile. So those are the days you have to be the most cautious that, you know, different cocks aren't trumping different hens and so on. But this is, like I said, I mean, it's the winter time. The birds eat a lot, but they drink very little, so they don't really need the water. You know, and I could add some, you know, little individual drinkers and, you know, feeders and stuff, but I mean, that's just so much more work, I think, in my opinion, especially when it's cold and everything freezes. But I mean, you know, if that's the route you want to take, that's fine. You know, it's equally as much work, I think, personally, to get up every morning and have to sit there and feed them individually. Plus, I like to let them out. I like to let them stretch a little bit. You know, I like to see them mate outside of the box, just in case the box is a little small. You know, I give them a little bit of aviary time if they want it. Let me open this up. So, that's just how I do it, guys. If you guys want to feed in the box, that's fine. No issues there. I'm going to go to the hen side and let them out as well. So, like I said, I'll let out one box at a time for about 15 minutes. And then I'll, you know, lock that pair up and let out another pair. And it doesn't necessarily have to be in order. I go let out, you know, let's say that box and then this box. And one other thing I do for some of the cockbirds that were questionable in terms of knowing their box or not, I will leave those cocks out overnight with their hens. So every night this week there's going to be a pair, maybe even 2 pair out, allowed to go around, you know, obviously throughout the loft, just so that they get an idea of where they need to go, so that when I do open them up, it's not that chaotic. And it is, guys. Unfortunately, no matter how many things I try, no matter how many different methods, I still get fighting. I still get all kinds of issues, because birds are just birds. They're animals. They're, you know, they lack the common sense, you know. But nonetheless, that's how I do it, guys. Hopefully that helps you guys out. If you decide to go individual drinkers and feeders, then that's fine. I just like to do it this way. So one thing I forgot to mention, guys, is make sure that you have plenty of grit. Let's see if I can zoom in on that. There she goes. Plenty of grit ready. These birds are gonna need it. I mean, you know, the hens take calcium from their bones to make eggs, so make sure they have plenty of grit when you get it. So here I've been playing a little bit. I let out two pairs, the pair in the left corner and the pair in the right corner, and they both went down. They drank just fine. Of course, the cocks were chasing the other hens, so on and so forth. You can clearly see the cocks are not having a good time, but it looks like they are learning their boxes. So that blue cock is in that top right box. Hen already flew up there. She knew right away where she needs to be. And the cock's still kind of teeter-tottering around, but I think he'll make it in there no problem. Yeah, he's not really sure. It's his first time being in this cage, so he's not sure on what he needs to do. But we'll give him a minute. And this is why I only let out one pair at a time at the beginning, because it's kind of chaos. And in this case, I just let out two just to see how they do. But grit's most important, guys. Don't forget that, especially for the hens. They're gonna need it. Up, up. Messing with the wrong bird, my man. So I've been out here for the last hour or so. I'm on box number 5. Some birds go right in the box right away. Other birds I've had to put inside. One of the things I noticed is some of the old hens remember their boxes, and that seems to be causing a bit of an issue, but that's no big deal. They'll figure it out here soon enough. So I give them, like I said, about 10-15 minutes. There's plenty to get down, get some food, get some grit, some water. And personally, I like it when they make it back to their own boxes. That shows me that the cock is, you know, calling the hen and she's, you know, following along. So I like it better that way, but in some cases you'll find hens that just don't understand what they need to do, or they want to constantly go to their original box from last breeding season. But nonetheless, guys, like I said, this is how I do it. You choose to do however you want, whatever's the easiest method for you. As long as you're spending time with your birds and getting things going, there's no right or wrong here, guys. Come on, boy, get that drink. There he goes. And usually he'll fly right up, and then he'll start calling his hen. There he goes, like clockwork. And she's paying attention. She's a little unsure, but she'll figure it out. Go get her, boy. Again, this is why I like to let out one pair at a time, at least for the first couple days. After that, you guys can manage them in multiple pairs, but for the first day or two, I like to let them out one at a time, worst case 2 at a time, just for this purpose right here. Just to make sure that the hens are following along, the cocks are going to their boxes and calling the hens to their boxes. So, alright guys, we'll see you on the next one.